All right. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate everybody engaging and being part of this process. We didn't know what the turnout would be, but when we solicit comment for rules, there are times we've had no one show up, no one comment. So I really appreciate everybody being here to give feedback, and provide information to the commission. We are recording today. There are some people on virtually. If you are on virtually and you have not done so, put your name in the chat if you wish to testify. And then we'll know to call on you to testify virtually. When you are not testifying, if you could keep your microphone muted, that will help us here in the room to make sure there's no additional feedback while people are testifying. My name is Jessica Allen. I'm chairwoman of the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission. With me today, Vice Chairman Jim Payne and Commissioner Marjorie McGinn are up here. We have a few more employees of the commission. Melissa Beaucaire is general counsel for the commission. Daphne Whitmire is senior attorney. And Dave Miller is superintendent of Indiana State Excise Police. There are a few other staff members moving around. We will call everybody that signed in one at a time. If you wish to testify, we'll have you come sit up here at the microphone. State your name, tell us, in this case, your permit name, generally in the state where you're located. If it's multiple counties, you know, list out the county, there's say Southwest Indiana, whatever it may be. And then tell us, if you're part of a group, what the group is. And we may have some questions after you testify, but we're interested to hear from everybody today. So with that, and we will swear you in, swear in the group now, I think, so that we're not doing it individually when you come up. If you're on virtually, we may swear you in as you testify, or if you haven't been in the room and we don't know that you took the oath, we may swear you in when you come up to testify. So if everybody wishing to testify today could raise their right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm as the case, if you might testify today, do you solemnly swear or affirm as the case may be that the testimony you're about to give the commission will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. All right, thank you. We will start working down the list. Ray Cox. All right, is there enough space there for you to?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We'll make it work.
This is up personal.
It is up front and personal the way we like it, so.
Before we start, I got a bit distracted. So I will say, I think everybody knows, but we are here for comment generally on Rule 32.1, the group purchase rule. We are soliciting comment about what's working, what's not working, if any amendments are needed. It is up for readoption this year, and we noticed it for readoption. Through that process, we can only either readopt or sunset the rule. We can't make any amendments to the rule. So this process would be where if any amendments are needed, if any changes are needed, there can be amendments through this process. So that's why this process is happening separately from the readoption that was previously noticed for Rule 32.1. All right, I forgot to explain that.
No,
Yeah.
no problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Your name and who you're with.
Yeah. My name is Ray Cox. I own and operate 4 stores in Central Indiana, Elite Beverages. We are members of the Dollar Saver Co-op here in Central Indiana. And I want to first of all thank you guys, thank the commission, the present commission, you all here today for giving us time to talk about this very, very important rule of ours. I also want to thank past commissions who not only promulgated this rule, promulgated Rule 32 in 1996, and then promulgated 32.1 in 2019. So thank you very much. I wanted to start off with a general discussion of co-ops. I don't know how much everybody knows about co-ops, but I don't want to take anything for granted, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
So, co-ops in general are very commonplace in America. Hardware stores, drugstores, grocery stores, medical suppliers, all utilize co-ops throughout America. Ace Hardware, one of the biggest co-ops. That's how they compete against, the big boys. So very commonplace in America. There are also beverage alcohol co-ops in other states. I know for, Illinois has beverage alcohol co-ops. So does Florida. I don't know the others. I imagine there are other states, but I know of at least those two. There's actually a national co-op that some of our Indiana wholesalers have utilized, may still be utilizing. It's called the Wine Guild. Nothing illegal about it, but they get together on a national basis and they co-op wine and direct order it and then clear it to a wholesaler. So there's all kinds of co-ops been going on for years and years. There are at least 15 independently owned co-ops in this state today. They represent hundreds of Hoosier small business people. There are also independent co-ops, commonly owned co-ops that are here today to testify in favor of Rule 32.1. So I'm sure you'll hear from them. But at this point in time, I'd just like for all the independent co-op members that are here supporting Rule 31, don't have to testify, but if you just raise your hand and be recognized if you're here to support the rule as is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Independent co-ops can also be comprised of taverns and restaurants. So this rule affects actually all retailers and dealers. Just to give a brief history of Rule 32 and its effect on the industry, in 1996, retailers, package store owners, the ATC at that point in time, and the wholesalers got together and promulgated Rule 32. It was done on a very non-discriminatory basis. If you look at Rule 32, the main distinction between independent co-ops, which are co-ops that are formed by people that own their own stores, versus commonly owned co-ops, which is what you would think of as a chain, a large chain. The difference between them is really in invoicing and pricing. Because the wholesaler wanted to guarantee that they got paid. I don't blame them. So they required certain invoicing requirements for independents. Obviously, if you're gonna ship to store A, B, and C at one shipment, you're gonna bill them A, B, and C in one shipment. That doesn't have to happen with a commonly owned. Other than that, the rules are the same. There's never been a limit to stores on either side of the co-op rule, either for independent or commonly owned. And I think that's a point that needs to be remembered, because there are some who would suggest that there needs to be a limit. There's never been a limit. We think that would be pretty discriminatory. There may be some misconceptions out there regarding independently owned co-ops. And I just brought a couple pictures that I'll introduce into the record. I guess I'll just hand them to you. These are pictures of a co-op in action, putting together orders, putting together deal levels, and placing orders in a co-op for delivery. In our co-op, it pretty much happens every week. In our co-op, it happens 3 times a week or 3 times a month. Then there is the harder part. That's the brain part. The harder part is unloading. And you can unload in different ways. And I've included some pictures of a co-op just the other day of unloading. One of the ways we unload is called truck to truck. It's actually referred to in Rule 32.1. It's specifically allowed. Truck to truck is basically where the wholesaler pulls up with his truck, the retailer backs up with their truck. There's a portable conveyor belts that go between them. And the product is rolled off very efficiently. Excuse me. I think our co-op did 5,000 cases in 4 hours, truck to truck transfer. There's another way to do it, which is permitted as well, and that is to stage the order. And I think the last picture shows that.
Which one would that?
That one there, where you stage the order actually on the concrete. So
For the record, I've marked that one exhibit 4. All right, tell us about the
Okay.
staging.
yeah, so in that type of scenario, the wholesaler has the goods palletized. They down stack them from their truck, put it on the parking lot, and then they distribute from there to the participating members. We think truck to truck is more efficient, but we're definitely very flexible, and we're open to all forms of delivery. I want to invite any of you to come to watch a co-op in action. We generally meet and unload every Wednesday. And Lou, who runs the co-op, can tell you more about specific dates.
At a particular location.
At a particular location, yes, sir. And so if you're interested in seeing it happen in action, you're more than welcome to see it. I do want to take the time to thank Secretary Speedy and Alex, his chief of staff, for visiting our co-op a couple times and actually familiarizing themselves with what happens there. I think they walked away with a pretty good appreciation for what goes on there. So when I started to, I've quite frankly, I've been following this issue for months now because I knew it was up for sunset, and I wanted to make sure we got this thing reenacted. And when I started to do that, I identified some folks that were opposed, and I think that's probably why we're here today. So when I did that, I identified two groups that were opposed. One of them was Big Red Liquors. The other one were wholesalers. And I don't know what wholesalers, I'm not sure. Of course, with wholesalers, they said it was a safety concern.
So you're not suggesting that all wholesalers, just some?
Correct. Yes, sir. And so, after meeting, several times with all the individual wholesalers, the 3 major wholesalers, I can tell you that I never really met with RNDC.
This might be a good time to remind everybody to silence cell phones. We forgot to say that at the beginning.
Disruptive.
Okay,
Go ahead.
back to
Yeah,
the meeting.
Yeah. After I did not meet with RNDC, they've got their hands full. And I did.
What is RNDC?
RNDC is Republic National Distributing Corporation.
So then everyone knows.
Yes. I met with Southern Wine and Spirits and had great conversations with them. Actually, we have agreed, we narrowed their concerns down considerably. And what I think their concerns are really not so much safety. I don't want to speak for them. I assume they'll put something in writing on this, but their concerns are more common courtesy oriented, which I totally agree with. And I think that we agreed to meet after these meetings and work out possibly a best practices policy that they can adopt as a company. We don't need to adopt it in Rule 32.1. We would like to work with Rule 32.1 as a framework and then work out with our partners how we'd like to do things.
When you said common courtesy, can you explain? Because everyone may not know, but what does common?
Common courtesy would mean being at the co-op drop on time,
Okay, okay.
those kind of things. Yep. Making it more efficient. So when I've talked to the other wholesaler, which is Johnson Brothers, and they were concerned about safety issues. So I did a little research, and nowhere did I find any serious incidents happening at co-op drops. There might be some.
Somebody getting hurt?
Yeah, and I
That was
think,
me.
well, yes, yes. And I think maybe one person did break a finger or something, got hurt on the job, one of their folks, I was told that. I don't know that that's caused by Rule 32.1. You know, we have a lot of, I mean, you can get hurt.
To pallet.
It's a pallet. Yeah, that's right. Maybe a training issue. I don't know. But the evidence to true safety really points the other way. Let me tell you what I found. In 2009, a trailer full of liquor was hijacked in National Wine and Spirits parking lot. National Wine and Spirits became Republic National. In 2013, $250,000 worth of Hennessy cognac was taken from 1900 Kentucky Avenue, which was bound from Southern Wine and Spirits.
If you're on virtually, please mute your microphone.
In May of 2024, the Muncie Cheers Bar, a delivery was being made and it got stolen. Not by a co-op. None of these are co-op
Okay.
related.
Okay.
Yeah, my point is,
Yeah.
none of these are co-op related. And actually, in our own new fields, right, the IMA, in 2023, the day after the Penrod Art Fire, $15,000 worth of liquor was heisted. I don't know of anything at a co-op. I might be wrong. Maybe somebody does. As far as I know, there have been no violations of law at a co-op issued by the ATC or by excise. And so I'm struggling to see where 32.1 is inherently unsafe. So now I'd like to look at Big Red and their anticipated argument here. I have spent time speaking with them in the last few weeks. And I think it was a good talk, but I'm not sure we came to any resolution at all. So at first it was about the size of a co-op in that, well, these co-ops are too big. And my response to that would be, we'll limit our numbers when you limit yours. Equality. That really isn't a solution, but it makes a good point. Then it became about Big Red being at a disadvantage because they operate a warehouse. Over 100,000 square foot of warehouse space costs a lot of money. Well, I'm sure that's true. Co-ops have costs associated with them as well. And I'd like to submit some yearly cost figures that we as store owners put together as to the per store cost of being involved in a co-op. So just because you've got a warehouse doesn't mean you don't have cost. Actually, some of us, including myself, operate our own warehouse and are involved in a co-op. We have 4 stores. The beauty of it, though, is that 32.1 treats everybody the same. You don't need to have a warehouse. You can have a warehouse, right? And so, independents and chains that have chosen to have a warehouse do it because of the advantages. Okay, so the advantages of operating a warehouse are multiple. Economies of scale. We can buy when the price is right, and we can hold that inventory for 2, 3, 4, 5 months when the cost of that inventory increases. But we bought it at a cheaper price. So can everyone else. And of course, the other real advantage that Big Red has that really nobody else has is that they're now owned by private equity. They were started by a guy named Mark McAllister years and years ago. Fantastic guy. Did a great job, but he's been bought out several times, and now they're owned by private equity. I'd like to quote from a publication from Harrison Williams, who specialize in private equity placements. And I'll enter into the record as well, but this is a quote from their publication. Big Red garnered significant investor attention due to their continued strong same-store sales and history of successful acquisitions. The liquor retail industry is highly fragmented, and Big Red's unique consolidation strategy has generated an impressive track record of growth. Over the past 7 years, since Rule 32.1 has existed, Big Red has almost doubled in size. And so I find it hard to believe where they're at a disadvantage. There are advantages to warehousing that will just, you'll never know. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And of course, the advantage of private equity in unlimited funds is pretty good too. I'd like to introduce two more pictures, and then I'm done with the pictures. And if you look at these, you might think that's a co-op delivering a parking lot. It's actually not. It's a beer delivery in a parking lot that's being staged on the parking lot. And it's going to one of my stores. This happens twice a week, 52 weeks out of the year. If there is inherently something wrong with parking lot deliveries, maybe we ought to talk to the beer guys about it, because it goes on, like I said, all the time throughout the state. Finally, it seems a little odd, considering the governor's call for reducing regulation, to take a rule that has worked well for so many years and layer it with some onerous limiting regulation or amendment.
Darn sure.
Thank you. Changing Rule 31 is choosing private equity over consumers with higher prices and less selection. It's also choosing private equity over hundreds of Hoosier small businesses who are represented here today, outside in the room and elsewhere. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
I have some questions previously written out, so give me just a second.
Sure.
Some of them you may have already answered. Okay, so how many members about are in the Dollar Save or buying group?
Lou,
35.
35.
35.
And that,
What?
there are
Lou?
30.
I'll ask you when you get up here to testify, all right? Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Do you do anything with beer in the buying group?
Very little, if any. I don't think we've bought beer in a long, long time. Now, I do know of co-ops that do co-op some beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask everybody these same questions, so.
Yeah, well, and it really varies. I mean, in a metropolitan market like central Indiana, it really doesn't, your demand is high, the beer deals aren't that high, the levels aren't that high, the savings aren't that great, so it doesn't really do us much good to co-op beer. Most everybody buys these deep deals on their own. In a smaller co-op though, in Linton, Indiana, let's say, they might do some. They might co-op some beer.
Um. How long, so every Wednesday, about how long does the co-op delivery take?
That's a good question. Depends on the truck and the men.
Lou's gonna
Lou's
answer.
raising his hand.
Okay.
Do you want to defer to Lou?
I'll defer to Lou.
All right, I'll ask that question of Lou.
Yep.
What time of day is the delivery?
I'm gonna defer to Lou.
All right. Um. I'd ask if you're the designated agent, but I think we know
We're
that.
gonna defer to Lou.
How do you handle, when you pick up at the co-op, how do you handle delivery to your locations? Because you said you have 4 stores.
Yeah, we actually take all of ours to a warehouse. And then we go from there and distribute it out.
How do you keep it separated? Since it's sub-invoiced, how do you keep it separated at the warehouse?
It's all invoiced to the warehouse store. So it doesn't really need to be separate. It's just one store.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you track from there? What's going different places? And the reason I'm asking that is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows excise checks for
And-
wholesale records when they come in. So how do you show that it originated?
Yeah, we
From
have,
wholesaler.
we generate invoices with everything we do. So we have our own invoice that states all that's required in the rule. Price and where it's going and all that.
And then I have some questions about placing the orders, but I'll save that for Lou. He's raising his hand.
Okay,
All right. Any other questions?
Tell me how the co-op has grown over the years.
and Lou will address this too, but I can tell you, I can answer that question. Lou will get into some detail, but the co-op have grown over the years. I've been in the business 40 years. When I first got in a co-op, there was no Rule 32 when we first started co-oping. And it was a group of probably, I don't know, maybe 10 retailers. The industry had not consolidated as much, so the need for a larger number was not there. Let's say the maximum deal level might have been 100 or 200 cases, okay, maybe 300 cases. And so you could easily match 10 people to that, okay? Over the years, as the industry consolidated, chains became bigger and bigger. Grocery stores got into the business, drugstores got into the business, all these players got into the business. The deal levels grew. Today, there are 5,000 case deal levels out there. And so there's probably 2 or 3 things that really control the size of a co-op, because none of us really love to get together and lift cases every week and ship around. But it's a necessity to be able to compete. So if you had smaller deal levels, that would control the size of your co-op. So number one is deal levels control the size. Second of all, though, the market that you operate in control the size. If you operate in a metropolitan market like Central Indiana, you may have a pretty big size co-op because competition is keen, deal levels are high. You need to make those deal levels to be competitive. The co-ops all came about because of the need for uh, independent retailers to be competitive, just like in the hardware business. And so that's how we got there. Higher deal levels, evolution of the business. The business has changed so much in even 30 years, but 40 years ago, we hardly had any rules. And, the ATC said, well, guys, you might want to have some rules. And so actually there was a period where the ATC stopped it because there were no rules. And it's okay. And it was retail to retail sales, basically. And so everybody said, okay, well, then the need to put some guidelines on it was there. And then finally, like I said, 30 years ago, the ATC promulgated Rule 32.
I'll see you there. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
All right, Lou.
Lou? Big Lou.
All right, good morning. Start with who you are, what stores
Okay.
and what co-op.
Okay, Commission Chair Allen, other commission members, thank you for allowing me to testify today. My name is Lou Wildeman. I've been in the business, bought a package store back in 1978, so I've owned the store for 48 years. And I have been the agent for Dollar Saver Co-op for well over 40 years. So I feel that obviously I can probably answer any question that you have concerning co-ops. For the sake of time, I don't want to be redundant, but I do want on the record that everything that Mr. Cox stated previously, I overwhelmingly agree with him. So I'll try not to be redundant. There are two areas that I'd like to get a little bit more in depth on and maybe in the weeds a little bit. I think it'll explain kind of the history of discounting from 50 years ago to current, why we need co-ops, why they're so important for all independents. I have copies of some deals. I've got copies of planners. And then if you're willing and want to hear, I will go in depth on how a privately owned co-op places orders, accepts the orders, so on and so forth. So starting with kind of the history of discounting. Back in the early 70s, the state of Indiana had fair trade, meaning everyone that sold package products and had a license got the same price, and that there was a minimum markup for these products. Well, about mid-70s, 1976 or so, fair trade was abolished, and competition started. I bought the store in 1978. Back then, that particular store was 532 square foot. That's all the space they needed because product was able to be bought basically on a weekly basis, and everything was at case one. Also, back in 1978, when I first bought the store, I could buy product from multiple wholesalers, meaning if I bought a bottle of Jack Daniels or needed Jack Daniels, I could buy it from 3 to 5 different wholesalers. Consequently, the competition was there, levels remained extremely low. Along came the distillers who didn't like that. they wanted exclusivity for their wholesalers. And the reason for that is they wanted to be able to control their products. When they had multiple wholesalers repping their products throughout the state, they lost control. Wholesalers also wanted exclusivity. They gave us, the reasoning was that their profitability would improve and that retailers would swim in service. Not quite exactly what happened, but hey, we'll go on. So, chains start developing, 21st Amendment, Payless Liquors, United Package Liquors. During that period, and now we have wholesalers that have the exclusive right to sell the products, levels started to increase. Back in the day, originally 1, 5, and maybe 10 case levels were the norm. As exclusivity happened, chains started to develop, levels started increasing to 25, 50, 100 cases. Consequently, that's when independents started joining together, pooling their resources to be able to compete. That continued on. Ray has explained how and when co-ops were promulgated. No reason to go into that. But in the 96, obviously co-ops continued to grow, but the chains continued to grow. And fast forwarding, we graduated from 1 in 5, 10 case levels to 25, 50, 100 case levels to 100, 200, 500 case levels. Fast forward now to 2026, and we have 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 case levels. Here are now, back in the day, we used to have hard copies of discounts. Today's wholesalers like to do it electronically. So unfortunately, I can't prove what the levels were 20, 30 years ago because they have all been destroyed and purged. And levels or discounting today is virtually done electronically with the wholesalers. But to show exactly how deals have exploded, I have here a deal most recently in September. Canadian Club, 500 cases of 1.75 liters. Our co-op, a store or a co-op of 35 stores, can't even come close to ordering that. And here's the big one. The difference is at the 500 case level, the cost of a half gallon of Canadian Club is $10.50. The price we pay at the next level that we can conveniently buy is $14 a bottle.
So I'm confused. What is this document you're reading?
This document is a discount sheet that I'm going to submit to you from this particular one is from Southern Wine and Spirits. Okay. Okay. What I'm doing now is just giving you a few
I got it.
huge discounts. I have 6, 8, 10 here. I could give you 100 just like this. Okay. Not to get too repetitive, but also here, a 2,000 case deal on Jose Cuervo Gold. That is a 6-month buy for our co-op. Why do we do it? Because the savings are so dramatic that we have no choice but not to do it. A 2,000 case order from Southern Wine and Spirits in the coastal division. Significant savings. 500 case deal on Terramana tequila. 500 case deal on Jack Daniels. A 2,000 case deal with 350 cases, no charge on Sutter Home 4-packs. A deal our co-op can't even touch. These are just a few. 1,800 silver tequila, 500 cases. So I will submit these. They're hard to read, but that's proof of where the levels are and why co-ops are so important to independence. Something of note that I can say unequivocally is the Dollar Saver Co-op that has been in existence for 40 years has never asked a wholesaler for an increased deal level or a better price. All we do is try to compete. All we do is try to buy the deals that are out there. We would prefer smaller deals. As Ray alluded to, we consider co-ops a necessary evil. That's not saying we don't like co-ops. It's just that we would prefer to bring the product directly into our stores. But without this opportunity to buy these deep levels, a lot of our stores would be out of business. Our profit would be hurt so substantially, we would just sell. So, the next thing that I would like to go into is how co-ops operate. Now, I'm gonna, first of all, assume a few things here on how commonly owned co-ops work. A Big Red, for an example. I've talked to salespeople. I generally know how this works. But I'm just going to paint a little picture of kind of the process they have to go through, and then the process that a co-op goes through and the differences. I think you'll realize that Big Red is not at a disadvantage. Co-ops are at a disadvantage. Okay. But we're not here today asking for any change. We just want the status quo. So in a commonly owned co-op, such as Big Red, who owns 108 stores, there is probably one liquor buyer, maybe one wine buyer, maybe one beer buyer. So beginning of the month, beginning of the week, salesman comes in, sees what the needs are, might go over items that are pulsing. When I talk about pulsing, this is a purchase calendar from Southern Wine and Spirits, the Coastal Division. And I bring this one to the commission because it's the easiest one to read. And what this is it's a 6-month list of which items are discounting and when, and pricing. Okay. So, then at the commonly owned, the salesman decides which products that they need to order. They place the order, and then obviously invoices are generated. And here's a big point to hone in on. The product is delivered to the warehouse and taken off the trucks inside to their warehouse. Big point here. Okay. And later when I explain how co-ops work, the difference between the delivery on a commonly owned compared to an independently owned. So getting to something that I know a lot about, and that is independently owned co-ops. Once again, I've run this co-op for 40 years. And for the last 15, 20 years, the drop point is at my location. So our co-op is made up of 35 stores. And there are 13 owners/buyers. The breakdown is we have 4 one-store owners, 4 two-store owners, 1 3-store owner, 2 4-store owners, 1 5-store owner, and 1 7-store owner. So we have a combination of different sizes. I'm one of the 1-store owners, but I also have a warehouse. And the reason I have a warehouse is because of these large deals. It allows me to compete. Without the warehouse, I could not compete. Obviously, just like the commonly owned co-ops, such as Big Red, we don't dispute the fact that they have expenses. We know they have expenses. That's not something that is in contention here at all. But what I want to explain to you is that we also have expensive and maybe greater expenses than they do. So when we hear that they're at a disadvantage, I can't wrap my head around this, how they're at a disadvantage. Okay, so our process of ordering compared to the commonly owned. Here is a 12-month schedule, which I will submit and encourage you to come to one of our meetings / deliveries anytime to see how it actually operates. So as you can tell there, and we give this to our wholesalers 12 months, or excuse me, about 3 to 4 months in advance of the year in question. So as you see there, the first meeting of the month, let's say March the 4th, was a meeting with Johnson Brothers and RNDC. And it is a meeting only. So all 13 buyers, and Ray has given you a picture of that. We meet at 9:30 in the morning, okay, at my location. A week prior, the wholesalers give us focus guides, okay, for the products that we are going to buy on May the 4th. So the 13 buyers then accumulate their needs, numbers, submit them a couple of days prior to the co-op meeting so that the wholesaler can calculate those numbers. And by the time that we meet, they will know which deal levels that we have met. Okay? So we're at the meeting on March the 4th, 9:30. All 13 buyers are there. Wholesalers, Johnson Brothers, they are at the head table, and they start the meeting and let us know which levels that we had attained that were on our focus guide to buy. Then we start the tedious process of all of the items that were on the focus guide to buy that we didn't make the levels, that we were insufficient in enough cases. That's when we start going around the table, why we need to be present, why it's not functional to do it any other way. We start going around the table, deciding who can add cases, whether we want to push that particular buy off to another month. Okay, so this is it's a tedious process compared to commonly owned. They just bulk buy deal levels, which I think some of those big deals were promulgated by those large retailers. Okay, so we do that same process with the second wholesaler, RNDC. And each of these wholesalers, it takes us approximately 2 hours. So that first meeting takes us a good 4 hours. Also, there is time involved earlier to actually calculate those numbers to give to the wholesaler. So then we're done, okay? Obviously, we've got a good 6 to 8 hours with drive time involved in this ordering process. So the very next Wednesday, then, we get delivery on the orders that we have given Johnson and RNDC. And with RNDC, it is truck to truck. With Johnson Brothers, it's palletized, and they drop the pallets onto our parking lot. After we unload, then we go back into a meeting that second week, and we start the process all over ordering with Southern Wine and Spirits. Okay. So, and then the very next 2 Wednesdays, we take deliveries from the orders we place with Southern. The reason for 2 deliveries is because they're the largest wholesaler with the largest volume, and they can't handle the sheer volume in 1 week. They want it in 2 weeks. plus our co-op members, in some cases would have to rent or have a second truck to be able to transport all those cases. I estimated my time, our time, as the drop point, not having to even transport the product because obviously I'm the agent and it stays in my warehouse, that we have a minimum of 32 hours worth of labor a month just for placing the co-op orders and taking it in. And to answer your question, each co-op meeting normally takes about 4 hours at the physical meeting, not the preparation prior to the meeting. Okay.
The delivery piece takes 4
And
hours.
the order process to
Okay.
place the orders, the delivery. Normally we can deliver 4,000 to 5,000 cases in our parking lot in 4 hours. Now, we think we're very efficient. We demand that our co-op members be on time. The wholesalers give us a list of the order of the stores that are on the trucks and approximate times that they think we'll get to these particular stops. So we're pretty efficient. The larger our co-op gets, the less efficient we become, the more time it takes. So we have kept our co-op somewhat small to stay as organized and efficient as possible. But the size that we are now doesn't allow us to buy some of these large levels, okay? So some of those deal levels that I've given you, our co-op of 35 cannot reach all of these levels. It's just not possible. So to limit us to X amount of stores would be devastating. So if, for an example, just recently at the meeting yesterday, we were informed that a 250 case deal that has been on for the last couple of years on Maker's Mark, Knob Creek, and Basil Hayden, very deep discounted deal at 250 cases, which we struggle to buy, but we do buy every 3 months because it pulses every 3 months. They've changed the deal. The deal now is 500 cases of Maker's Mark separate, 150 cases of Knob Creek, and 150 cases of Basil Hayden. So the deal went from 250 cases to 800 cases roughly. So as I said, the deals, as the chains get bigger, the deals are just escalating. They're not getting easier. We're not here today to complain about levels or complain about anything else other than we want the opportunity to be able to compete. And without co-ops, we can't compete. It's a tedious process. It's an expensive process. Ray has submitted many stores list of expenses that are associated only with a co-op, not outside of a co-op, okay? For mine, I've been very conservative. At a minimum, it costs me $29,000 a year to belong to this co-op. Why did we do it? Because the savings are that significant. Why do I have a warehouse? The savings are that significant. Why does Big Red have a warehouse? The savings are that significant. And they're not getting, and consumption is down. Wholesalers have contracts with their suppliers. And if they don't meet those numbers, they pay penalties. So the volatility of deal levels is crazy right now. So we have to be nimble, but we have to have the opportunity to be able to purchase some of these deals to be able to compete. So just reiterating what Ray has said, that, you know, I can't wrap my head around how Big Red or any other large commonly owned chain is at a disadvantage because we're able to co-op. I think the terminology that I could understand more is if they said, we want to increase our advantage, not our disadvantage. There's a big difference there. And as Ray said, it's nothing more than large chains wanting to snuff us out. It's the old Walmart scenario that Walmart wants to keep their price at a certain level. And when somebody competes with them, they want their costs to go up and they then pressure their suppliers to raise the price to their competitors. There's videos of that out in the market now. So anyway, I'll quit rambling. I just appreciate the time. I would really appreciate if you would renew Rule 32-1 in its entirety as it is right now. Thank you for your time, and I will answer any questions.
Thank you.
Oh, the one thing, as far as unloading, I think I mentioned that normally we can unload 4,000 to 5,000 cases in about 4 hours.
So you said the deliveries are on Wednesdays. What time of day are they delivered?
Okay, we start at 8:30 in the morning, unloading.
Do you do anything with beer?
We do not at this point. Now, there are a few deals that are surfacing on the beer side. But just out of efficiencies, we pretty much stayed away from that.
I think you kind of answered this, but do you have space at your location for the delivery to be brought into the licensed premises?
Absolutely not. That would be a tremendous hardship. Now, one other thing that I've forgotten to explain. When it comes to a co-op compared to a commonly owned, we not only do we have probably extra time putting these orders together, but to get on an even pace with a commonly owned warehouse is we have to take delivery from an agent's location, which in this case is mine. So all of these co-op members have to then load their trucks, drive their trucks back to their stores and unload it. Okay. And then in cases like Elite Beverage, Victory Liquors, Superior Beverage, they take it then into their warehouse and they later will distribute. But we have a whole layer of expenses that the commonly owned stores don't have. And that is from the drop point to our stores or to our warehouses. Then we become equal with the commonly owned chains and distribute it to our sub stores.
Have you now or in the past looked at what it would cost to have a licensed premises large enough for the delivery to come into the licensed premises?
That would, without a doubt, put an additional layer of expenses onto the co-op, and it would serve no functional purpose for the wholesaler. The wholesaler would incur additional expenses then also. Right now, the wholesaler pulls up to our lot, opens up its tailgate, and then unloads truck to truck. If we were to get the same service that the commonly owned co-ops get, then that wholesaler would come to our location. Okay, now we have this big, huge warehouse, but now they have to take it physically off the truck and physically into our warehouse. Big expense. I mean, we're now talking additional hours. That could take 2 to 3 additional hours. Then we still have to take it out of our warehouse, back onto our co-op trucks. Absolutely unnecessary, especially what purpose does it serve? Especially when there have been no violations, no problems with how co-ops have operated since 1996. 32 years.
So in, just as an explanation on why I'm asking these questions, whether we re-adopt a rule or amend the rule, we have to do an entire fiscal analysis of what the rule is either saving businesses or costing businesses if we amend it. So that's why I'm asking if you had an idea on
It would,
dollar amount,
it
what
would,
it would look like.
it would increase, our expenses exponentially. Finding a warehouse that would be able to handle 5 semi-loads of product at once, I would hate to think what that would cost. And once again, then it would be much more difficult and expensive than to take it out of that warehouse onto the co-op trucks. Unnecessary expense. All it's going to do is raise the cost of the product. Hence, we would have to then pass that on to the consumer.
Are you compensated by the other members for being the designated agent?
Absolutely not a cent.
Um,
My savings is I do not have to transport the product. So I incur a substantial amount of expense having that co-op at my location, tying up my parking lot. I actually allocate, it's a strip center, and the end section I have no longer lease, and I use that for the picture that you saw there is a section that I could lease. So I'm losing $18,000 a year in minimum and rental income.
um. Would you be able to provide us a copy of the sub invoiced? Just for any given,
Absolutely.
a sub invoice or how it looks when it comes to the
Mhm.
location,
We-
just so we can better understand what that sub invoice looks like.
Yes, we have a master invoice, which shows the total cases by item that are delivered to on those trucks. So it covers the actual vehicles. And then we have sub invoices for each individual store.
Who prepares that?
The wholesaler prepares those. And that's the actual invoice, sub invoice that we pay off of.
Any other questions?
What happens if somebody doesn't come to pick up their product?
They probably are asked not to come back.
Probably.
By you?
Yes, they'll get one, they better have a very, very good excuse.
Have you,
And in those cases, yes, then the product has to come into my location.
so you would take that, even if you were unhappy with the member, you would take the product into your location?
Depending upon how much and so on and so forth.
How
I
often?
will say. In the almost 15, 20 years that the drop has been at my location, that has never happened.
Have you ever faced situations where one of your members is on no shift?
Absolutely.
And what happens?
They get a
Just hold on
phone-
for a second. So for the other commissioners, if a store is behind paying any wholesaler, then they can be put on no ship. And the way it works with the group would then not be able to purchase while a member is on no ship.
Okay.
So I will get a phone call from the wholesaler stating that X member is in arrears or past due. I will call that member and they know that they should drop everything they're doing and take care of the problem. Once again, we've had issues with invoices not being paid on time, but it has never stopped a delivery. We've always gotten it taken care of before it terminated that delivery. I don't know about other co-ops though.
I'm trying to ask everybody similar questions if they're in different co-ops. Any other questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Right, I see Greg Bosch does not say he wants to speak.
I don't need to, I don't need to.
Okay, are you a co-op member?
I am a co-op member.
Okay, can you just tell me which co-op?
I'm in Lou's co-op.
Okay,
So,
all right, thank you. Kyle Rippiger,
Rippinger. That's me. I'm part of Lou's Co-op as well. I have 2 stores in Richmond, Indiana, so I got a nice, pretty long drive to the co-op job, but that's how we survive, so.
all right. You do make a hike there. All right, I'm gonna try to read everybody's handwriting, get this right. Scott Tomic? Tomic?
I have Claremont Liquors in central Indiana. Employ several Hoosier employees and appreciate the rule, being instated the way it is. Keeps me in competition and I appreciate you guys' time here today for letting us speak.
Are you also in Lou's Co-op?
Yeah.
All right. Ryan Wallace, Ryan,
Yes. I have 4 stores. I'm a member of Dollar Saver Co-op with Blue. Greenwood, Edinburgh, Mooresville.
all right, thank you. Warren,
Right.
all right, it says,
That catches everybody.
it says if you want to speak.
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, come on up.
No, I'm not a member of Lou's Co-op,
We're ready to hear. from-
not a member of anybody's co-op. But
Your name, please, sir.
Warren Scheit, from Columbus. I have 14 stores, Columbus, Greensburg, Shelbyville, Seymour, and Edinburgh. Although while not in a co-op, I was one of several that you've already heard from that were in favor of the start of co-ops many years ago. I've been in business 44 years and I'm past president of the National American Beverage Licensees, which represents all types of alcohol beverage permits across the country. So I am here primarily while supporting the rule, primarily because I'm a commonly owned business, which is different than maybe anybody else here. But I also have just finished a year ago, a 13,000-foot warehouse. So I thought that in particular may be something you folks may have interest in that maybe this group would not address. I think you've heard most of the co-op story. But for the whole time we have been open, we had run our business out of our primary store, which is about 13,000 feet in Columbus. And then it just, as been stated, deals kept getting larger and larger. And the only way to combat that was to build a warehouse, which we did. It is on, one of the problems faced by everybody, if you have a warehouse, it has to be attached to a permitted premise. So I did have a lot, large enough at one of my locations to build this 13,000-foot warehouse, which has 4 doors, 4 garage doors, 3, these are all unloading dock height doors. The 4th has a ramp into the building, which you can drive a full-size truck into, which makes for delivery, especially of craft beers and smaller liquor companies. They can pull right into the building and not just there. So one of the benefits of that was it enabled me to turn my primary store, my biggest store, literally back into a package store and not a store / warehouse, which was very complicated in operation. So since then, we've been able to increase our products and stuff in that store. So I don't know what you will ask in the future, but that building that I built was right at around $1.5 million. And we did it for the purposes, as has been stated. Deals are so large that we needed the space. And it made it a huge efficiency thing for us, where just on our delivery time to my locations, which was we delivered 5 days a week, literally kept a truck running normal business hours, the whole, 8 to 5 type thing. We can now cut our delivery time to 2.5 to 3 days a week instead of 5 full days a week. So that's been a huge, so as has been stated, that's been one of the big pluses for us. So, we don't suffer with the issues that most of these guys have of having to transport back to a warehouse or back to a store. It all comes to one location, and we ship everything out to our stores literally weekly or more if necessary. Some may get 2 deliveries a week, but we can give them exactly what they need on a weekly basis. And then that opens up for the store operation, that opens up the ability for them to actually operate as a store and have more product, more selection, because their space is not being taken up as a warehouse. So that's most of the pluses for us. But that's really why I'm here. And if there's any other questions, I'm a firm believer in how these guys operate. We just operate differently. Being a sole owner, we don't co-op with anybody else. It's strictly just us. I have thought about it, but haven't done it. Kind of have my hands full anyway. So on our buying, as was discussed, the wholesaler reps come to the warehouse, meet with. I have a liquor buyer, I have a wine buyer. Beer's a little bit different. We don't really co-op. We don't ship a lot of beer out. We do some if there's a special deal, but there really aren't many very big deals in beer anymore. So it's primarily a liquor, wine stuff. We also ship cigarettes and sacks and chips and all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of our story. Be glad to answer any questions.
I do have some questions. You may
Okay.
not consider yourself a co-op, but under our rule, we
Sure.
just consider you a commonly owned
Right.
co-op.
Right.
What we're learning is that a lot of commonly owned don't realize they need to register with us as a co-op. And so this isn't a gotcha question. If you did,
I am registered.
good. What is your co-op name?
Well, it's under Cork Liquors.
Okay.
Cork.
Cork, C-O-R-K Liquor.
And then how many stores are within that?
14.
Approximately how long would you say? We'll compare it apples and apples here to what we've heard about the liquor deliveries from Southern Wine and Spirits, RNDC, or Johnson Brothers. How long would you say that delivery takes to your warehouse?
A considerably less time than it does these folks. And it's primarily because a truck can back up to an overhead door. Everything's on one level. Some of it comes in on pallets, which you can just pick up, bring the whole pallet in. That's up to the wholesalers how they bring it. A lot of it is still wheeled in by two-wheel cart. But it is still a huge time savings, whereas before, when it was at my primary store, they were wheeling off a truck, down a ramp, and all through the pretty good sized store and we were putting it away and it was very inconvenient. Now they pull it back up to a door. And even if they're bringing it in on a two-wheel cart, it goes to one area. They just kick it off and go get another one. What used to, as I timed it, used to could take a truck 4 hours to deliver on our previous way. It's cut to maybe 45 minutes with the way we do it now.
Does the invoice you get from the wholesaler indicate that it's for a group?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, how do you mean indicate for it?
So it doesn't have to be
It's
Southern.
billed to
but-
that, it's billed to that specific store that it's attached to.
Okay, does it at all indicate Pork Liquors Group? Or is it just billed to DL, whatever the permit number is?
It says Cork Liquors on it, I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
It doesn't break it down to each store.
right.
It just goes to that one location.
How do you track the transfers out of your warehouse to the individual
We
stores?
create an invoice for each store that goes to the warehouse and is pulled at the warehouse and shipped to the store, and those invoices, the warehouse is reimbursed by each store for the product they get.
Before you had the warehouse, did you always have it delivered inside the footprint of the licensed premises, or did you ever do the parking lot transfer, truck to truck?
On the liquor and wine, although not technically the parking lot, but we have a big awning overhang area above our sidewalk, which is pretty large. And they would back up to that, put the ramp down onto the sidewalk and wheel it in that way. Beer would probably be like everybody else, it comes to the back door area in some fashion and is taken off the truck and brought in. So
But
it
you
wasn't,
wouldn't have another truck waiting to immediately take it to one of your other stores. Approximately what have your expenses been in creating and maintaining the warehouse space?
not quite sure how to answer that.
If you want to follow up later
I'll have to do that.
to us, that's fine.
I mean, it has its own heating and air and and all that, is taxes, I mean, the whole thing, it's a large, it's a 13,000 foot warehouse.
Yeah. If you want to follow up with us with that information, you can. I think those are the questions I had.
Maybe I do.
Okay.
There are 14 stores and you are a commonly owned.
Mhm.
Is there a break point for commonly versus independent? 5, 10, 20, 40? Why have you decided not? And you don't have to answer that.
Oh, that's fine.
business.
In reality, a lot of why, I mean, I'm probably like most of these guys, I never planned on getting to 14.
Okay.
I mean, I started with 44 years ago, and it just kind of, things happen.
Yeah. That's how-
And I don't know, I don't know if I'll get more stores or not. I don't know. I'm not particularly actively out looking for it. I've been to some of the recent auctions and that kind of changed my mind on a few of them. But I could say that until we built this warehouse, I was at a point where I really couldn't buy any.
Okay.
The warehousing ability created a whole new set of opportunities that I didn't have before. Kind of a common theme here is space,
Right.
for everybody.
Space and cost, yeah.
Space and cost.
Thank you.
Fine,
Thank
thank you. Snowton.
I really don't have any additional comments that I can add to that the gentlemen haven't already discussed. Want to know the name of my co-op and the number of members, I think.
Yeah,
Please. I think this is B and D. I'm sorry? B and D, D as in boy, D as in David, Liquors. We're located in Seymour, Indiana. Our co-op name is Flagpole Co-op, FLAGPOLE. Thank you. And it is drop shipped to Fort Vernon, Indiana, House of Spirits. And we have in our co-op, we have a total of 21 members in our co-op.
are you the designated agent?
Yes, I am.
Could you come take a seat and I can ask you some questions just so we can compare? See what's common practice, see what's unique. Oh, yeah, if you're on virtually, could you mute your microphone? If you're on virtually, if you could mute your microphone, we're getting just a little bit of feedback. I don't think it's bad in the room, but it's gonna be frustrating if we ever have to transcribe this hearing. Or Chris, if you can go through and mute anybody that's not muted.
Yeah, I'm muting everybody. Kara, are you getting any interfering noise from us out here?
Nope.
Okay, great. I think I've muted everybody. I'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you. All right. Just a few questions on
Your
this.
name, please, first.
Bruce Nolting.
Thank you.
Nolting.
All right, and you said that you were with Flagpole Liquors Co-op. Do you deliver to a licensed premises, the four walls of the licensed premises, or the extended floor plan area?
We deliver, it actually is a truck to truck
Okay,
with all of our vendors. And it is delivered I'll say it's in the parking lot of House of Spirits. Because it's the single largest store in our co-op.
and is that one of your stores?
No, I just have one,
Okay,
and that's the one in Seymour.
okay, so you are the designated agent, but it's not delivered at your store.
That's correct.
When is the delivery? Day of the week and time of day?
It varies. I actually put out a schedule, a 6-month look out into the future. And I distribute that to all the vendors. I distribute that to all the stores. And it states vendor, date, and the products that will go on that specific co-op.
And then how long does the delivery typically take?
Typically, of course, it depends on how many cases we're getting, but typically you're looking at an unload between 3 to 4 hours. And like I said, it's truck to truck. So what we get is an email the afternoon before, after all the orders, of course, they've had our orders for 3 to 5 business days. So we get from that particular vendor, we get notification, here's the ETA of the truck, here's the store name and the unload sequence and number of cases per each store. So all of our stores see that day before, you're first off, and the sequence always is the same. So I'm third on one vendor, I'm second on another, but it does not change within a vendor for a co-op. With that, then all of the stores see, here's your ETA, you need to be at the store at least by that time or earlier.
Is there space inside any of the licensed premises in the group to deliver inside the licensed premises?
For each store,
For the entire co-op delivery to be delivered and dropped inside a licensed premises? So I don't know if my question's making sense. Do any of the members have a store large enough that it could be dropped inside the licensed premises?
no, they do not.
Okay. Have you looked either now or in the past at what it would cost any of the members to develop
A
a
warehouse?
warehouse store?
Never, no, we have not, because it seems that it works so well the way we do it. Why would you put that additional cost and both in labor and brick and mortar to do that? So we have not, never gone down that path.
As the designated agent, are you compensated by the members for being the designated agent?
No, and not.
How do you handle, I guess, first, the common courtesy issues? How do you handle if a member doesn't show or is late beyond their number off the truck?
I state in my emails to them, when we have a co-op, I remind them, you must be there at the designated time or earlier, or you run the risk of being excluded from the co-op. Now, that said, we have excluded 2 different ones over the course of in the co-op 18 years. We have excluded them, and we've excluded them for putting the co-op or almost putting the co-op on no ship. I mean, you do it once, it's shame on them. The second time, if there's no 3 strikes, you get 2 and you're out.
So how do you handle if you find out that a member of your co-op is on no ship?
I find that out. I'm contacted by my sales rep for that particular vendor. They call me, I need to let you know that store X is going to have the whole co-op on no ship if they don't take care of this immediately. And then I make the phone call. And I don't want to spend my time having to do that any more than necessary.
Have you ever missed a delivery because of somebody on no ship?
No, we have not.
I don't think I have any other questions.
How many stores in the co-op?
How many stores? 21 stores in the co-op.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Can
Oh.
I state something? I don't have a question.
I think we're just taking questions and information today.
Thank you,
Thanks.
all of you, for your time and opportunity. Hopefully, we can continue with the rule 32-1.
Right. Jason Allen. It didn't say you wanted to speak, but
Is it Nolan? Nolin?
I'm not in. Jason Allen.
no, it looks like Allen.
Oh, people have left.
All right, we'll come back around to that. David Forey, David Laurie. Okay. Now Jason Nolan. It doesn't say you want to speak, but if you could just tell us your stores, number of stores, which co-op.
I own Time Out in Westland, Indiana. We're part of, Indian Lakes Co-op. SBEM is our agent. We have, 44 stores in our co-op. I've been a member of the co-op for roughly 20 years.
Thank
In
you.
support of Rule 32-1.
Thank you. All right, Jorwar Singh.
Yes.
And it doesn't say you want to speak, but if you could just tell us your stores, how many and which
Yeah,
co-op.
we got 9 store with the Bishop or
What was the co-op?
Bishop.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Gola is here if you want to talk to him.
All right, I think he just signed in, so we'll,
Okay.
we'll work through the
Yeah,
list
he's
and
part of my co-op.
get there. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Harwinda,
It's me.
okay, hi. Um,
I'm a part of a Bishop Co-op out of South Bend, and I own 2 stores.
all right,
And our designated agent, Mr. Bola, is here. I think he's going to speak on behalf of us.
all right, thank you.
I would really appreciate if we continue using Rule number 32. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Harm Singh,
Farm saying I own food liquor here in central Indianapolis. I'm in quorum's group with the Marine Group. And I'm in support of the group because it's the only way I can survive. I own 1 store and it's the only way I can keep my prices low for my customers.
all right, and you said Marine Group,
Yes, I'm the agent, Matt Cole for that.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Five Star Liquor,
Gurinder Mahal. I'm part of Matt Holmes Group as well. I own 3 stores. 2 of them are here in Indy. The other one's in Vernon, Indiana. I'm in favor of this law as well. We'd like to see it pass so we all can survive.
did somebody else sign in for Handy Spot?
My name is Dharmender Singh. I also part of Bishop Co-op as well. We have a 9 store also.
All right, is that the same?
Yeah, with the Jorwar Singh, yeah.
All right, thank you both. Harpreet Singh,
Yeah, we also same with the Bishop Co-op.
okay. Do you have stores separate from the ones that have already?
We're also part of Handy Spot.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Alex, driving,
I'm with, Red Barrel Liquors. I do have the invoices from our co-op, if you guys would like to see that.
if you want to come up. All right, so tell us your name, your stores and your co-op.
Alex Draving with Red Barrel Liquors, Mooresville and Monrovia, Indiana, Morgan County. And our co-op group is Dollar Stretcher.
Are you the designated agent or a member?
I am not. Our agent should be, Ray Vanderveer.
And that was Dollar Stretcher.
Yes, ma'am.
Um. All right, and then you indicated you wanted to speak, so let us know.
I'd like to thank you guys for listening to all of us for Rule 32.1. I think with the co-ops being younger, 31, watching more older generations and younger generation trying to get into the business, I think co-ops have absolutely given us a capability to compete with larger competitions, with keeping our price low. With here on our invoices, you can see we have our total discounts and savings that we had made. Between our pickup yesterday, we saved over $10,000 on discounts by hitting Old Smoky deals and other product deals. And it shows on here, which I believe you asked, it says invoice name, and it does say to Dollar Stretcher, and then it does say sold to Red Barrel Liquors number 2, to where index 1 says Red Barrel Liquors for Mooresville. And if you guys would like to go over those or keep those, these are just copies, so.
So these are copies.
Yes. I usually do 2 copies, usually get extra copies to make sure we don't lose anything.
We can keep these?
Yes.
We want to make sure you have your copies too in
Yes, we-
case, superintendent shows
We do.
up. Mark those here in a second, but. Does your co-op do anything with beer?
We do not,
Um,
at least while I've been there. I don't know in the past. So I've been doing it for 10 years. My family's had the stores for 39 years in December. So I'd be 3rd generation. My grandparents are 86, still living and working. My mother will be 69 this year, still working. And then me being 31, I've been with the business for 10 years now.
they brought you in as soon as they could.
Yeah. I've got to watch my whole entire life of kind of how the business goes from home, listening to mom talk about co-op meetings, and hitting deal levels and hearing how we went from being able to one case, just bring in one case at the deepest, deal level to, as we've heard, 50 cases, 200 cases. Now we're up to 1,000 cases and things like that. And I think if we do get rid of co-ops or they change some things, most of us won't be able to survive going forward because now we're dealing with big box and large chains that are capable of bringing it in. And for us, we do not have a warehouse. We bring all product into each location. I believe you asked earlier, which I don't know if anybody has spoke on, but how we load our trucks is we load our Mooresville store first, and then we load our Monrovia store second. So I will leave, Rule In is where our co-op meeting is at, or pickup. So I will leave from there, go to our Monrovia location, unload our cases there and have their invoice left there. And then I go to our Mooresville location and unload there. So everything is still separated so once I load Mooresville's store, they will print off that invoice and then we'll continue on to the next store. And then that's kind of how our operation rolls. And I think it's very fluent and efficient because if everything was just if you have 3 or 4 deliveries in one day at one location, you may be making, which those invoices are with Southern Glazer Wine and Spirits. Let's say a Southern Glazer Wine and Spirits shows up, then RNDC Republic National shows up. You could be turning that driver's day into a 4-hour day because we're all just backpedaling up on deliveries.
Um. I think you answered all my questions for members. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Darren, can I ask a clarifying question? Not until later, sorry.
I can't read the handwriting here. Bottle shop. Okay.
I really wasn't going to speak, but
You can just tell us your name, your stores and your co-op.
okay, well, my name's Ilana Mrzinski and we're down to one store now in LaPorte, Indiana. We've been in business probably 38 years, pretty much. We had 3 stores there one time. I was planning on retiring, but I still, on co-op days, get into the trailer, help unload, put the product away. So I know what days we have co-ops and beer trucks. That keeps me active and I don't have to go to the gym that way, so.
There you go.
But that's the only way we're gonna survive with one store. I'm hoping maybe my grandson could take over down the road, my son, so.
As soon as they turn 21, you just.
Yeah, right, no, he's in college now. He's not in a hurry.
Thank you.
Um. Colby Shima,
H&M on the Marine Group. We just have that one store over there in Indiana. So this is more likely that, so if you lose that, we can. Hoosiers, you know what I mean? We can take your bus.
all right, thank you. Amon, somebody Garcia, cannot read the first name.
Yes, dear.
Okay,
Came with me to help me drive.
all right, well, appreciate you too. Steve Coben,
One.
Thank you guys for having us today and hear our side of the issue. My name is Steve Quorum. I own Chili's Liquors. I'm a one-store owner now. At one time, I was a 5-store owner. I've been in business 30 years. I'm kind of unique to this. I worked for RNDC, or National Wine and Spirits at the time, for 16 years. Had this for 30 years. I also worked part-time for Big Red when I was down at IU. Some of the unique issues we have, we represent, my son is the agent for the Marine Group. I believe we're the largest co-op in the state of Indiana. We have 45 owners and 72 stores in the group. We have our delivery on Thursdays, approximately 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It varies depending on the size of the deals they print. Obviously, $5,000 case delivery takes longer than some of the smaller ones, so, you know, it varies a little bit, but that's generally when we're there. You guys are welcome to come anytime. We meet at the 1040 North Post Road, and it's unique. Our partner in there is the Fatima House. It's a Catholic organization, and they're in our co-op. It's a club kind of thing, you know, membership to be there. Our group pays them rent, $18,000 a year. And they use that to a lot of their programs for disadvantaged kids, St. Vincent de Paul, and some of the Catholic charities. So we're happy to do that.
What day is it, November?
Thursday. Ours is also unique, the fact that we have stores from Evansville to Lafayette to Lawrenceburg, all the way over to Clayton, Indiana. I think that's the furthest west. So it's important enough, these guys, they drive a lot of miles to save the money, and that's part of the expense. My store, I think it's one of them that was submitted. We spent approximately $86,000 last year. My son, myself, and my daughter, the 3 highest paid employees are involved in co-op that day. And, it takes, like they said, 4 or 5 hours, the three of us, we bring three people, a vehicle. And, of course, we got the rent expense. And had about 7 years ago, moved to a bigger location that had warehouse capability because of the size of the deals increasing. And us trying to continue to compete, it seems to be space and money is what makes you compete in this industry. I'd also like to say that we are pleased. We have a lot of first generation entrepreneurs and Hoosiers in our group. And they represent a lot of small business in a lot of different communities. And we're really proud to welcome them in. We realize that 32-1 really gives us a level playing field with the big box stores. And we're just glad you support that. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. A lot of the other stuff I have been covered. I don't want to be redundant on what Lou and Ray said earlier today, just for time purposes.
I do have some questions.
Sure.
If you can answer, if you need to defer to your son and
Okay.
say that's our designated agents
Yeah,
to answer. Do you do anything with beer?
we do not.
Okay. So with yours is the first one we've heard from that the delivery is not to a package store location.
Mhm.
Is it still handled in the parking lot or truck to truck?
It's unique. Johnson Brothers, they palletize theirs, like someone said before, so it's on the ground. Most of the other are truck to truck.
But it doesn't enter the
No,
delivery.
no one in our co-op has a big enough store to handle that.
To your knowledge, has anyone ever looked at what that cost would be?
No, it was really never a big issue. I know the deal that's going up, we moved to it was a Family Dollar store that moved, and we went to that building because of the dock and warehouse space 7 years ago. But as far as a big enough space to house orders for 70 large package stores, no, I don't, never really looked into that. Very expensive, I'm assuming.
Do you compensate the designated agent?
No, it costs us money then more than we bring extra people. We often have to make copies of schedules and things like that, and provide information to them. And so, no, we've never been compensated.
And if how does your co-op handle anybody that arrives late, doesn't show up, or what are your rules on that?
If they arrive late, and of course, we have exceptions, people are coming from afar and there's issues with 65 and so they generally call. And we, as a group, move their off to the side, and keep the co-op moving. But, if they continuously, more than once, late, we move to the back of the line. So then they're, can't get there on time, you move to the back of the line. And, that's just kind of how we handle it. If it's continuous, we kick them out of the co-op. We've done that before.
Again, if how does your co-op handle members that are on the no-ship list?
My son generally gets a call. We contact them immediately. Some may have to get off their ship so we can all order. And generally do. If they don't, we've had two instances where they didn't. And both those gentlemen were no longer in our co-op. We had to kick them out of the co-op
Did you miss any deliveries with that, or were they?
No, they
moved
both
prior to the next?
we don't meet in January, and they both happened in January from large December invoices from, year-ending deals. So one of them was out of the country in India, and the other gentleman just overlooked some things and couldn't get a hold of him. And so unfortunately, they're not in our group anymore.
Anything else?
Are you closed at 45 members, or are you open to others joining?
I get calls every week for people to join. We try to be, see if they'll add anything to our group and that sort of thing, but no, we're not opposed to adding more. The only issue we have is it's not as efficient because there's more. Sometimes deliveries come in one or two semis, sometimes they come in 5 or 6 box trucks. So again, depending on the wholesaler and how they do it, but no, we are trying to cap it. No, we don't really want to cap it, but the administrative for us cost and busy signing people up is a little more, but we're happy to do it. We want to be competitive as we can, and the more members seems to make us do that.
Thank you.
I'm struck by the precision that everybody tries, sound like a finely.
You should come see it, yeah.
Well, I wrote your address down, I wrote
Yeah.
your date down,
I
so I
appreciate
can do that, but what do you do when it snows?
Dress warm, dress warm.
So the deliveries still happen regardless of the weather, is that right?
There's an occasion, yeah, there's
It's amazing.
I can't think of any occasion where
Yeah.
they've canceled. Sometimes it's delayed because obviously
Okay.
the trucks don't get there as early because, the interstates are backed up and such like that. But yeah, it goes on. We don't meet in January, and that's sometimes the worst month for weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just dress warmer and you're out there with your gloves and everything and
Great,
it,
interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks.
yeah,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Can't read the last name again. Tony. All right,
I'm with the Marine Group also. I have 5 stores, Rushville, Cambridge City, and Centerville. And very in favor of, Rule 31.
thank you. I think you meant rule 32.
Yes.
but- 32.1.
Be clear.
Yes.
Keep the record clean. Jeff Worden?
Yes.
You don't have to come up and speak, but what stores and what co-op? Okay. All right, thank you.
You're for.
Halwinder Callan,
Right here. I have 2 locations in central Indiana and then 403, 32.1,
okay, and what co-op if you're in a co-op?
Dollar Saver.
Okay,
And I just want to put one more thing in there. I've moved my store recently about 3.5 years ago and spent about $1 million putting it in the new building because the deals are just so big, we were running out of space. So we went from 3,200 square feet to about 7,200 square feet and got about a 3,500 square foot warehouse just to warehouse everything because we have to buy so much for so long, Yeah, it was very expensive. I think I estimated about $48,000 a year is my expense. Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Davinder.
Davinder, thank you.
Yeah.
I couldn't read the handwriting
My
again.
name is Davinder Khaira. I got a bundle store in East Side and I'm with the Dollar Stretcher.
Dollar Stretcher or Dollar Saver?
Dollar Stretcher.
Dollar Stretcher, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we want to take a quick break? And then,
I'm okay. You heard it?
all right, I don't need a break.
I'm
All right, we'll keep going. If anybody here needs a break, get up, come back. We'll keep moving. Royal Liquors.
My name is Karimir Singh. My family, we own 3 liquor stores in central Indiana. We're with the Dollar Stretcher Co-op. Our agent is Waving DeVere, and we are very much in favor for the 32.1 law. Thank you.
Thank you. Tajinder Kaur. Hi. Can you tell us which stores and how many and which co-op?
I own the one liquor store, Hometown Wine and Liquor. Here's the west side. I'm in the Marine Group since 2017.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
If you
Matthew.
could state, excuse me, make sure that we get on the record that you're for or against.
Oh, we cannot survive without her children.
Thank you. Matthew Corin.
Yes.
Is it Corin or Corin?
CORAM is the surname.
Okay,
Coram.
thank you. And then I think we've heard about the co-op. Do you have anything to add on how your co-op operates?
Extremely in favor of a 32.1, and obviously, as you can attest, and maybe you could say, how many people in this room are in our, I mean, everyone who showed up, I could think they're taking it seriously in the show. I mean, of the 45 members, I bet 44 of them are in there, you know, so I think that attests that, like Dad said, they come from all parts of the state, you know, so I think they take it pretty seriously, and they understand that this is their livelihood going forward.
Thank you. Dylan Austin.
Me, I own one store in Richmond, Indiana. I'm in the Marine Co-op. And, you know, being able to be in a co-op was one of the main reasons I had bought a liquor store. So if that 32-1 wasn't around, I wouldn't be able to survive. So I'm in big favor of it.
How long have you owned it?
It's been 7 years now.
Steve Short. Hi.
Drink Slinger, part of the dollar save stretcher. As you can see, dollars, that's why we're here, because it saves or stretches the dollar. 3 stores, one in Marion County West Side and 2 out in Park County. And we're very much in favor.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ted Clements.
Hey, Clemens, we have, me and my son have 3 stores here in Indianapolis. It's another one that as everybody else is. We could not be able to purchase 500 cases and smear it off on our own. So without belonging to a group, yeah, we would suffer tremendously.
Which group are you with?
We're in Stretcher, also Dollar Stretcher.
All right, thank you. John Adams.
This is my dad, business partner. We got 3 stores in Marion County. I am 31.2.
All right, thank you. 32.1. I can't remember off the top of my head what rule 31 is, but thing with discount liquors. Starts with a J.
Jack, he was.
Jack.
He's in our bedroom.
Sitting in that room. Here's another room.
All right, Chris, is Jack Singh in the room with you?
Is that for AJ Liquors?
Is it for AJ Liquors, Chair? Is it written on there?
It says discount liquor.
Discount liquor. Is anybody here for that?
In the bathroom.
No, he may have left the room.
Okay, I'll come back to that one.
Thank you.
Okay. Which co-op is he in?
Marine.
Marine. Okay. And then Bar 52 and Brookville Liquors.
My name is Jagdeep Mangat. I'm a Dollar Stretcher group.
All right.
I support in 32.1.
All right, thank you. Kuldeep Singh.
I own 3 stores in Central Indiana, and I'm in with the Marine Group for last 9.5 years, and I'm in the favor of 30.1.
Thank you. Charles Everhart.
Yes. Excuse me.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Everhart. I own Community Spirits in Indianapolis, Indiana. I have 18 stores and I'm a commonly owned co-op. Obviously, I'm a commonly owned co-op because I like to buy in bulk. At one point I had more stores Right now I have 18. The reason that I'm not a member of the independent co-ops primarily is I like to pay my bills on time, and I hear horror stories about folks in the co-ops. I don't want to be on the first step, which is COD, cash on delivery, which they put you on for 2 weeks before they put you on no ship. And I've never been in that situation. So it's just a lot easier to be a one-person band. You know, every retailer is not presented the same deals. I'm just going to be honest with you about that. And I think anybody here would tell you the same things. When you hear about 5,000 case deals and 3,000 case deals on products that you could actually purchase and would be willing to put your money behind, you're not always presented with those deals. So having some of these co-ops in place that have 45 and more stores like that, they're sometimes presented with bigger deals that we have not been presented with. And because we're, I always say friends in the liquor business, we hear about the deals a lot of times from co-ops that we don't hear about ourselves. So obviously you can go online and comb through pages and pages and look for some of these deals, but it's very difficult sometimes when they're buried and we just don't understand them. At some point I may need to join a co-op to compete. Like I said, I have 18 locations all in Marion County, north side of Indianapolis. And at some point I may need to join a co-op to compete because I don't have more than 50 stores. And obviously my buying power is limited also. So I'm in favor of Rule 32.1.
So I'm gonna go through my commonly owned questions just to see how you operate and how it works. So just for the record, are you acting at purchasing?
Yes.
Okay. Is the delivery to inside one of your licensed premises, or is it to an extended floor plan parking lot area?
No, we actually bought a former car dealership and converted their garages into our warehouse. Our warehouse is about 30,000 square feet. We have 2 delivery doors. One door is the one that goes down a ramp, so it's level. And then for those types of trucks, and then some other trucks don't fit quite. So we have a large bay door that they can actually back in to the warehouse and deliver inside of our warehouse.
How long does the delivery take?
It depends on the distributor in a number of cases, but let's say we were getting a typical 500 case or 1,000 case delivery, it'd probably run about an hour, hour and a half.
And then when is the delivery generally? Time of day, day of the week?
Usually Tuesday mornings. Sometimes we get overflow for our warehouse on Friday. Most of our individual stores, we do some direct shipping on some cheaper, more common items. That delivery day for the distributors is Friday. But our warehouse store can get deliveries twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Do you do any beer deliveries to the warehouse store?
In the 30 years that I've been in the business, I think we've done 2 massive beer purchases and then distributed ourselves. And they were both from Monarch/Reyes, and they were like, 1,500 case Corona Modelo deals. So, but that's an exception to the rule. We just normally operate out there 100 or 125 case requirement.
How do you handle the transfers from the warehouse location to the individual stores?
I have 4 full-time warehouse employees. They range from $16 to $20 an hour, 40 hours a week. So those folks handle our deliveries. We have a point of sale system, which gives us depletions. And we look at the depletions and then create an order for each store. We deliver, big deliveries on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we do fill-ins on, Thursdays and Fridays.
How much would you estimate, and if you don't have the number, I think when I asked this earlier, somebody was gonna get back to us, that it costs you to develop and maintain the warehouse location?
Well, I can tell you, the warehouse that we're in now, we've been in for 3 years, and it costs us about $1 million to retrofit and put in loading docks and those things into our warehouse, heating systems, completely different system than was there before. So that ran us about $1 million. On top of that, I'd say we just for those 4 employees in the warehouse, it runs us about $190,000 a year. You know, the utilities are all part of the store. My offices are there, and then we have the warehouse. So I couldn't tell you utility costs off the top of my head, but the warehouse is a part of that. But I would say it'd be the cost of kind of running our store up front would be about the same cost. So you're probably looking at $20,000 to $30,000 in utilities and things like that.
Does your invoice at all indicate when it gets delivered to the warehouse that it's for Akinet Purchasing Group, or just that it's coming to Akinet, the corporate entity?
Right. 99.9% of those invoices are just to Akinet Purchasing Group. And we distribute the liquor and the wine from the warehouse. What happens that 0.1% of the time is when the distributors come in and they have to have place settings at each store. It still all is delivered to the warehouse, and it comes in say 3-case increments, and an invoice is attached to each one of those, and then we have to turn around and deliver them to the stores. But they got the placement that they need to satisfy their suppliers that these products are actually in each location.
I don't think I have any other questions.
I don't have anything for you.
All right, well, thank you for your time, and again, I'm in favor of Rule 32.1.
Andy Zielinski.
He left. He left.
Oh, he left? Okay. Does anybody know if he's in a group or?
He's a Michael.
Okay.
Yes.
Vikram Dindra. Town Market Spirits.
He's in here, Chair.
Vikram and Sanjot, from Town Spirits and Fine Wines. We're part of the, Marine Group. We run about 5 stores in, Hamilton County.
All right, thank you. And are you in favor or opposed to 32.1?
In favor.
Okay, thank you. And did someone else sign in with your stores? Banwait,
Yeah.
last name?
Pardon?
Did somebody else
Who
sign
else?
in for your stores?
Yeah, I'm Sanjot Benwat, and then, my business partner, he had to step out, but he's Vikram Dinza.
Oh, okay,
He
thank
stepped
you.
out. Thank you, Chair.
Rocky Singh.
He just left out and he had to go to pick up the kids
Okay,
here. So he's from Marine Group.
okay, Marine Group, thank you. Bola Singh.
First of all, thank you so much. Let me speak.
You signed in late, but I don't know if you were here. Did you take our oath?
I can take over.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that the testimony you're about to give the commission will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. So tell us your name, your stores, and
Bola Singh with
Sure.
Mega Liquor and Smoke. And I have my co-op name is the Vishaving Co-op.
all right.
When I take a look back to make it recognize why is 32.1 is needed to. I used to, and I still own store in Michigan. In 2007, I moved to Indiana. And I was due to Michigan where you can order 1 bottle, 2 bottle, or 10 bottle, or 100 case, they all come same price.
Yeah.
So when I bought it, when I moved to Indiana, so I thought, you know what, I live in Indiana, I should buy a liquor store in Indiana. So I bought my liquor store in Indiana and find out that Bacardi bottle costs $9 more delivered to me what Belmont next door selling for. So if my cost $9 more than him, I have to make a couple of bucks. That means I'm $10, $12 more than the other store. Nobody was gonna come to me. So I was looking for it and I went home and I told my brother and wife, we made a big mistake. We should not buy a store in Indiana. And I was trying to sell that store. And in between, some salesman introduced me a co-op, which one was the Lighthouse Co-op in Candlesville, and it's about 2-hour drive for me. But I get up every Thursday morning, 4 o'clock, went there by 6 o'clock, 7, so make sure I'm there so I'm not late. I pick up my co-op and my business start going. It does not pay me my driving time, it does not pay my expense, but it was somewhere I can think, yeah, I can be in business right now. All my time, my labor was just effort, not a profit. Now I'm start happy with Indiana store, so I bought a second one, I bought a third one, so I have multiple stores. So in a few years, I was going to Candleville and pick them up, and then about a few years back, we start our own co-op, which one I have about 90 some store between 15 and 18 owners. So we are in a business today because of the 32.1 law. If that was not exist, either I have to sell the store or lose the store that time. So I'm very happy in this business now. I have multiple stores through state Indiana. I have my son, he's want to be a store owner, but he's in law degree right now. And his dream is that, Dad, I will run better than you tomorrow. But if this co-op goes away, they have no power buying and competing with Walmart, Costco, other big stores. Still, people come to us, we're buying from the co-op, we're making our 20-25% markup. Still, people come, hey, I can buy this in Costco for $60. Why you have for $79? We tell them, hey, we are not Costco, we are liquor stores. But if this 32.1 goes away, I think half of these people here in this room will have the sign for sale and nobody will be a buyer. So please keep that 32.1 exists so we can be in business. Thank you.
I have some questions since you're the designated agent. Are the deliveries made to the 4 walls of the licensed premises or to a parking lot expanded floor plan area?
Parking lot.
Okay. When is the delivery, day and time?
We have 2 days. We have Johnson Brother come every once Thursday the month. And then we have Friday for RNDC or Southern Wine. The timing, they're pretty typical between 9 o'clock to 8:30, 9 o'clock. And we, just like everybody else said, we get email, we have time slot, everybody member get the time slot. And basically you won't see more than 1 or 2 people in my parking lot. They just come on their time, pick them up, leave, and the next one will come.
How long does the delivery take?
I say between 3 to 4. Usually they're between 8:30 to 9 o'clock there, they're gone by 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Um. Do you have space or do any of your members have space to take all of the product and place it inside the licensed
I
premises?
think state have to grant us $5-6 million, we can build one, but we don't have one. I hope the ATC have some kind of grant, we can build one.
Um. To your knowledge, has anyone ever looked at what the actual cost of that would be?
I can tell you. So I had a small warehouse. I was kind of managing with 1 or 2 people for my stores. And that's not anybody case going into my warehouse. And a city of South Bend pushed me to the wall saying that I have too much liquor in one small building. So I bought bigger building, but 12,000 square foot building cost me $2.8 million, which one a $28,000 monthly payment. Now I have 4 people work there. Each month I pay $20,000 to $25,000 payroll for those guys. 60 some $1,000 is my just the property tax for that building. And that not generate me any extra penny than what I was making before. For somebody to come up and buy a bigger building and have the delivery going into the warehouse, like I said, it's gotta be between $10 million for that kind of space to have everybody delivery in. I mean, he gets every Friday delivery from one company, the Southern Wine, RNDC, or Johnson Brother, or Carol Wine. Somebody will be there every Friday. That means $5,000-6,000 case every week have to come to the warehouse, and the warehouse have to be bigger than 15 to 20,000 case holding capacity, so they can load into the warehouse.
As the designated agent, are you compensated by the other members of the group?
I make a coffee for everybody. I have a bottle of water for everyone. I make sure in the winter time I have enough coffee so my people doesn't get freeze. And that's always, I just trying to help my family's friend and members so we can all stay in business. And that's actually, I say thanks to everyone who's the leader in this co-op. It's a lot of headache. It's not a just easy job. A lot of time, the day I go so frustrated and my wife will say, must be a co-op day today. She want to know that why I'm so mad for the day. But it's a lot of work, like right now I'm getting a message. They're sending me, hey, we need this many cases for this because we have a co-op this week for Southern Wine. All my members sitting here, I can tell them, hey, go add some cases in there. We have to sometimes put in there what we don't even need them. And liquor is so geography based sell. 1800 tequila will sell this part of the country. It will not sell for us. There's so many liquor will sell Indianapolis, will not sell in South Bend. I was surprised. I bought a store in Logansport. I seen the item. I never thought those items will sell, but those are my biggest selling items. So that's, when they set up a price, they don't see where we are. They say, Jose, earlier, they mentioned the 2,000 case for Jose, 100 ml. Who will sell 2,000 case Jose 100 ml? Yes, because if they are in this neighborhood where everybody buys singles and come 20 times in your store, you might will sell it. But I don't have that clientele, so we can't buy that. And when we buy 50, we're paying $20 more cases, and we have to sell higher than them. And that's being in co-op. If I have to just buy by myself, I probably will buy 20 cases, and that will be cost the double.
Once you get the product, how do you handle the transfers to your multiple stores?
We usually have our trucks there too. We have 2 big box trucks. My guys are there. We load them up that same day and take it to the store where it need to be go. And some store, we are very small stores. We have no space for month holding or 4-week holding. We have a POS system. We have 4 guys, like I said earlier. Anything we scan, it create the invoice and it's store number so and so. When they push submit, it automatically goes into their inventory, and when they receive the product, they get received, and the inventory will switch from warehouse to their store.
So you take it from the group delivery to the warehouse and then distribute from the warehouse?
Some store, yes.
Okay, so a little of both.
Yeah. If it's small deals, which one I know it's not a part of this, but I wanted to you guys to look into that too, please, because those liquor company are pushing us where we don't want to be. Southern Wine push us $10 delivery, which one nobody else does in any state or in state of Indiana. So due to they have like 25 cases small deal, which one we don't have to handle at the co-op, we send it directly to the store. No, they put a $10 delivery charge. No, I have to make it $10 somehow from that 25 cases. And even not that, we don't have the big enough warehouse. And we was talking earlier about Big Red says not fair. Yes, it is. They are 100% fair than us because they have the big warehouse. If they build for 40 stores, they don't pay $400 because they have a dock. And Southern Wine do only charge them one delivery charge. Where I have multiple store, every week I pay $400, $300, $350, depending on how many store I order. Each store, they charge us $10 even at the co-op, not the direct delivery. They bring only one delivery to my warehouse, which everybody else pay $10, including every single store I own, I pay $10. So that's very unfair and fair between those big store and us. So that's extra cost on us too.
How do you handle if someone is late or doesn't show up for the?
We never had it happen. We had two members. We warned them once because I told them I'm not gonna be babysit here. Your case is sitting in my place. If you don't come next time, you will not be in the co-op, and we actually take them out.
What did you do when they didn't show up? Did you take it to your location?
We never had that happen. It just came late, like instead be here 9 and truck is driver want to leave. I tell them, put them in my warehouse. Probably half hour, 20 minutes, they will come pick them up.
How do you handle if you're notified that someone's on no shift?
And very simple for us. If they can't pay the bill, they don't need to be in this business. We had one person one time, but end up he sold the store now, so he's not in the business anymore.
Yes.
Thank you again. I wanted to please support the 3.2.1 and keep everybody in business and really appreciate for your time.
Thank you. But Chris, I can't see the chat. Can you call the names in the chat of the? Well, first, before we do that, is there anyone here that wanted to speak or at least indicate which stores they own and which co-op they're in that we missed? Yes.
I'm German thing. I was late. Sorry, I didn't put my name on it. I own one store. I'm in a Marine Co-op and I want to continue the 32.1.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm from the Fisher Spirit Wine and I have one store at table for the 32.1. And reason for just an example for everyone in this co-op, today price, selling price, just one item, Tito's. If you go online and search, it's $25.99. Anybody get that price to purchase on last year? Not even. Anyone's got it less than $25.99, anyone's purchase on this whole group I'm asking. Nobody purchasing on less than that price. So even we got a biggest group of money, but still our cost is not even that price. And you search online, the one store, they're selling $25.99. So if the biggest group and still we got not offer that price, and if the group is gone, how get we survive?
Can you tell us, I think you told us your stores, but not.
Not my store, I'm talking about general, just example, Tito's pricing current
No,
Anybody
I
can-
understand it wasn't your store. I was just asking your name.
Oh,
For the
my
record.
name is Ashok.
Okay, thank you.
So I favor the 32.1 because of the reasons currently, nobody can beat even the bigger chain price. And if the co-op is gone, then nobody can even afford anything, not even they afford the rent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
What's the Dominic and I'm in the favor of that.
Dollar Stretcher, what stores do you?
What's the
All Star Liquor and what group? Sorry, what's your name? Okay, thank you.
Chair, we have
Right,
a couple in
Chris?
here that wanted to, yeah, we have a couple in the room that wanted to testify here.
Yep.
Do you want to state your name? The owl can see you, so I think we can see if you just state your name and speak.
Hi, so my name is Baraj Patel. I'm also part of the Marine Group. We have 3 stores around Marion County. And we're also in favor of the 32.1.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to mention was, so some of the deals have gotten quite big over the past few years. So because majority of our stores are smaller in size, so we don't have that much space when it comes to buying like thousands of cases where some of the people have the bigger warehouses, so they're able to house them. So essentially what happens is, let's say a deal comes around, it's 2,000 cases. An average store maybe takes 100 cases of something. That's how we hit the deal. Well, if co-ops weren't in business anymore, we would no longer be able to hit 2,000 cases on my own. So essentially I would have to buy maybe only 50 cases. So for example, let's say Tito's, we're buying at 100 cases. It takes me about 3 or 4 months to sell through the entire product. Well, if I can't buy 100 cases anymore, now my price goes from $15 to maybe $18. So I can no longer sell it at 20. I might have to sell at 25. So essentially what that happens is the bigger box stores, they have to, they'll be able to sell it at cheaper prices, kind of creating sort of a monopoly. And they'll be able to make more money because they're able to buy more in bulk. But someone like me, I would only be able to sell at $25 in order for me to meet my costs. And potentially, if I'm selling, let's say 5 cases a month, it might come down to 3. So over the long haul, maybe in the next few years, my revenue would probably consistently go down.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to testify here? One other? You can stay there, we can see you.
My name is Sheep Singh. I'm here on behalf of my mother, Ravinder Kaur. We have 2 stores in Elkhart and 1 in La Paz, Indiana, called AJ Liquors and AJ Liquor 1. And I am in favor of 32.1, and the group is Bishop Co-op.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Chair, we have several individuals that put written testimony in the chat. I've been aggregating that in my notes. If the commission wants to take notice of that, then I think that would be adequate for that testimony to be entered in the record. And then I can go through the names.
All right, we'll consider the comments in the chat to be written comment to the commission. Yeah, if there are names in the chat of people that wanted to testify virtually, if you could call those. When your name is called, you'll need to unmute your own microphone for us.
Yes. We have Varinder Kumar. Did you want to testify? Are you still in the chat? Or still in the
Yes,
group
sir.
online?
Yes. Yes, this is Yes, sir. Gurinder It's Kaur. Virender Kumar and it's Virender Kumar and my co-op is Marine Group. And we have a small store in a small town in Switzer. So I'm in favor of the co-op. Otherwise, we will not be able to survive in this business. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Varinder Kaur, did you want to testify?
Yeah, I Yes, just my testified. name is Gurinder Kaur. Oh, sorry. I own 5 liquor stores and I'm part of 2 co-ops, Indian Lakes and Bishop. And I wanted to say that I'm in favor of 32.1. In order for me to survive in business and continue to do business, it's really important that this rule continues.
All right, thank
you.
you.
I've got Frank Ruggieri.
You go down to mute.
Frank,
Still there.
so yeah, he's still there.
No mic.
Okay, Frank has not spoken up. I see you still in the chat, but he did,
He doesn't have a
make
microphone.
record, he's in favor.
All right, Frank, if you could just put in the chat what your stores are and what co-op you're in, if you're in a
He's done
co-op.
that, Chair. He's
All
done
right,
that.
thank you.
Yep, yep. Oh, he said no thanks anyway. Okay, perfect. Manny Singh. Okay, then I've got Gurvinder Singh of Speedway Liquor. Did you want to say anything, other than that you're in favor? Doesn't sound like it. So that's everybody who has put anything into our chat there. Did you want to speak?
Yeah.
Okay, there's somebody in person here that wants to speak. Can you state your name and company?
My name is Chirag Patel. I own 2 liquor store. I'm in a Dollar Stretchers and I'm in favor of the rule 32.1.
Thank you.
We've got some more in here that are raising their hand.
Myself is Jagat Patel. I own a West Side Liquor in Dearborn County, and I'm in favor of 32.1. And I'm in the Marine Co-op. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Anybody else on virtually?
We've got one second here. We got Big Barrel Liquors number 2. Sir, you can speak Big Barrel Liquors number 2. I don't have a name.
Is he muted?
He's not muted. Or she. Oh, that's Manny? Okay. Manny Singh, did you want to speak, sir? You got your hand up. I'm gonna lower your hand. Lowered. Okay. Manny Singh
We're
did
not hearing
enter into
anything.
the, he entered into the chat that he was in favor of 32.1. I guess that's all I wanted to say.
All right, thank you. Is
Oh, we have
anyone
one more
on?
person.
We all favor of rule.
Yeah.
Want to stay on store names and we can do. I guess we can do one by one.
Have you guys all signed in here?
I don't know.
Was there a favor? If we can get another sign-in sheet and put it in here, then I think they can all just sign in rather than individually testifying, because I think that's all they wanted, just to state their name and their support.
All
Is that
right,
okay, or-
there's, yeah, so the sign-in sheet says name and business. If you could put your business and your co-op, that'll at least let us know who's here and that they're a member of a co-op.
Thanks, I'll grab it and bring it in here. Oh, it's coming, looks like. Thank you.
So we are, Melissa, did we set a deadline for written comment?
He said for 1 week from today, so March 19th.
So we still have 1 week. As of earlier this week, we didn't have any written comments yet, but we still can take written comment. If you were here today and provided comment, that qualifies. If you have anything to add, you can add to that. You don't need to duplicate what was here today. I think there's a question.
Ask a question of the written comments. Will they become part of the public record?
They will be public record.
And if so, when will we be able to access those?
I don't know. I'll be honest, this is the first time we've ever taken public comment on a rule before we had a rule that we were moving through the rulemaking process. The reason we did it this way is if there are going to be any amendments, we didn't know what those would be before we took comment, if that makes sense. So I would say after the close of comment, they would be available as a public record.
So I was gonna say that, submit a public records request.
Would it be a public records request or would it be somewhere available or relatively immediately?
I think we can post it next week. So we have all of the documents today that were submitted. I marked them with an exhibit number. This hearing would be public and we can put the other public comments on the rulemaking docket.
Okay.
So those will be posted, I'm just trying to get it clear in my mind, those will be posted soon after you receive them?
It depends on logistics on getting them posted. We can try to post them when we get them, but I can't promise how quick it'll be, but that's a logistics
Okay.
thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand, I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
More difficult, I'm just trying to understand the process.
full transparency, I don't know how to post things to our website. So we have to get it to somebody who does and then they post it.
But we would monitor the website, is that right, to see if anything was posted?
Yeah,
Is that what we should do?
yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments today on 32.1?
I just, on behalf of everybody, want to thank the commission again for your time and patience with this hearing. It's vitally important to all of us, so thank you.
Thank you. This is more participation than we anticipated. But I appreciate everybody being here. I know it's been a long hearing and some of you drove from far away from your stores, probably during operating hours. So I appreciate everybody being here and giving their feedback on this.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be safe.